Hello everyone, this is Arthur again. Today we're going to take a look at this 2017 BMW 430i and talk about the coolant leak that it was having. Let's take a look at the new parts that we have for it. This is the thermostat housing. Comes complete with a gasket, and this is the mechanical water pump that comes on this newer 4-cylinder models, and it is, as you can see, is a pretty big piece that goes on to the side of the engine. So if you know a little bit of BMWs, they were using an electric water pump for a long time. Looks like they're slowly stepping away from that move, and they're starting to use mechanical water pumps again. However, this one is not as easy to remove as it was mechanical pumps on their M54 engines or some of the early 4-cylinder engines. So to be able to remove this water pump and the thermostat, first you will need to remove this intercooler piping over here, which is a few fasteners as such. It removes a few T30s right here, and then you'll see the mass airflow meter right here, and that one is held by 3 10mm screws. You can remove those, and it has a connector. You remove that one, and then there's one small bracket right here that goes, and it's 2 E8s, and that one comes out. And then after that, you will have to remove the thermostat, which is held by 5 T10 bolts, and you undo the hoses from it. These 3 hoses, 1, 2, and then there's one more on this side right here. They're fast connects. You undo those, and the thermostat housing comes out. There's a connector on it. You have to disconnect this one too. You pull this tab, just like with the other connectors. Most of them have this gray tab. You pull it, and then you push this and you pull it out. Those are all the easy parts. Now the more difficult part is the alternator and the AC compressor situation. Is not really difficult, but it is steps that you have to do to get to this point. So to be able to remove the alternator, what you do is you get one of these pins, or you can get a drill bit, or if you have one of these tools, you get one of those. Put a 16mm on this tensioner, and you turn it and you lock it in this position. There's a little hole over here you have to insert. What that does is it gives you the access to the 3 E12 bolts, bolts that hold the alternator to the water pump bracket, which is this one. The alternator goes through these holes and tightens in on this bracket. Once you twist this and lock it, you'll be able to remove these bolts. Once you do that, you move the alternator to the side, remove the wire from behind it, undo the 13mm bolt, and remove this power wire as well. Make sure you, by this point, you should be having your battery disconnected. And next step is the AC compressor. There is 2 large E12 bolts that hold the AC compressor in place. At first glance, it looks like it is not going to come out because it's very tightly stuck on it. Just get yourself a pry bar and gently start prying slowly the AC compressor, and it will give, and it moves to the side. Once it's moved, you have all the room to remove the water pump at this point. Then you get E10 with a couple of small extensions, a short one and a slight bigger one, a 3-inch one, and you work your way around and you remove the 7 screws that hold the water pump to the driver's side block of the engine. Once you have those out, you can just pry the water pump out and then it comes out. And then the rest is you just have to clean up this area, which I'm about to do, and put the water pump back on and follow all the directions back. Fill it with coolant and just check for leaks and it should be alright. So here's everything back on. Just gonna put the cover back on. I already bled the system. So the couple of pointers to be able to put the AC compressor and alternator back on smoothly. Make sure you put the long screws back in the alternator when it's out and tap it slightly. Let the nut that is in the back slide back, so it'll give you room to slide it over the bracket. Same with the lower part of the alternator, just its own bolt. Put it in and tap it in with a hammer a little bit and it will go in. And then to be able to put in the alternator, you gotta put it in first, then secure the AC compressor or it won't slide in. Same with removal. If you want to remove the alternator, you gotta undo the AC compressor bolts and move it to the side a little bit before you can pull it out. And as far as bleeding goes, just make sure you put coolant in both reservoirs. This one is for the turbo and this one is for the engine coolant. And open this valve and just top it off, close it, turn the heater on low and let it run for 5-10 minutes. And once the heater blows warm, add a little more coolant in both reservoirs. Make sure they're at the full mark, and that's it. You're done. Check for leaks, make sure nothing's leaking, and then you replace your water pump and thermostat. Thank you for watching. There's more videos to come. Just comment, like, and subscribe.